Hello family and friends, this is Rob the Sapper gardener representing Essayons Family Garden, and today we're going to be doing a video inspired by two of our friends here in the YouTube community, Wayne and Lynne at Homestead Aus, AUS, on a video that Lynne did a few weeks ago. As soon as I saw it, it got me to thinking, and I said this is something that hopefully we can get other people thinking about too, especially in the times that we're in. We're doing a lot of canning and food storage, food preparation, because of the uncertain times that we're in. And Lynne pointed out a topic that I think a lot of us don't think about. Some of us may have ways already that they're prepared to do this. But I think a lot of people aren't thinking about it. If we've got food stored and if there's a life-altering event, a storm, hurricane, long power outage, shortage of fuel supplies, how are we going to cook all this food that we're storing up if we have to cook food? We can grow everything, a lot of food in the garden, we can cook raw, but some food does have to be cooked and prepared. So Lynne did a video on alternate cooking methods in a life-altering situation, and I thought, yeah, let me see what I do in our homestead to prepare food that doesn't use electricity from the grid and doesn't use fuel supply, fossil fuel, propane, that we have to be connected to the grid with or have delivered regularly to prepare our foods. So let me point out 4 methods that we use as alternate cooking methods to prepare our food. So anybody who's followed our channel knows our #1 off-the-grid cooking method or alternative cooking method, and that's our grill. We actually have 4 grills / smokers on our property, depending on the size of the meal that we've collected over time. We had a small one when we were in a small townhouse. We got a bigger grill, we got a better grill, we got a smoker, so now we have a grill collection, and all our grills are charcoal grills. Some grills can be used for charcoal or hardwood. Ours are charcoal only. At some point in time, we probably will buy a combination grill. Yeah, that may be a soon investment. There are pellet grills, but when you get your grill, one of the things you also have to think about is access and supply. So our grills, because they're charcoal only, we do have to go out and buy charcoal, which is fairly inexpensive, but it's still something that you have to go. So if you're thinking of an alternate method, you either have to stockpile charcoal, which is what we do, or you have to be willing to go to get it on a regular basis. And again, if you're in an apartment, you may or may not be able to set up a grill on a balcony in a common area, but it's something that you definitely want to think about as an option. So we try to keep at least 4 or 5 bags in the house of wood lump charcoal, and we've also got a bag outside. Just depending on when we catch it on sale, we might have 8, 9, 10 bags in here, but usually a bag will last us a few cooks, or 2 slow cooks if we're doing ribs or something like that. And one of the ways that we like to cook off-grid without power is down here in our pantry, and we use it a lot, and that is our All-American sun oven. And there are many different types of sun ovens, and they definitely have some pros and cons also. We love ours and we wouldn't trade it for anything else, but depending on your situation, it could be a good thing or it could be an inconvenience. We're not being sponsored by All American Sun Oven, but that's the brand that we have. There are different types of sun ovens. So you've got your cooking box, and your cooking box actually has a seal around it. So this glass door, when you set it down, it seals everything in. If I can get it one-handed. So it seals everything in. So when you put your food in it, a lot of people are concerned about cooking outdoors, bugs, animals, whatnot. But the box is sealed. So once you put your food in it to cook, you set this down, you latch it in place. It's sealed against the elements. It can rain, it can snow, animals, bugs. If they are outside, they're not getting into your food. And to cook, you have reflector panels here, and you simply open them up. And I'll show you guys again outside once we put our food in it. But you open the reflector panels up, and these capture the sun outside, and they reflect all that sunlight. So you've got 4 panels, so whatever the temperature is outside, these are going to amplify it by reflecting more sunlight into your box to cook your food. We also have a variety of different camp stoves, and depending on what type camp stove you have, you may need different fuel sources. We use a flammable fuel source, Sterno, and it's just something that I'm pretty familiar with from my military days. We used it a lot when we went out and we were deployed. We were out in the woods, we were out in the desert. Sterno was just a very easy to carry around fuel source, and we use that in our camp stoves. A lot of people have rocket heaters that they can use twigs and things like that, but it's definitely got some bonuses and some drawbacks. We do store our Sterno inside. Some people like to keep theirs in the garage, some people like to keep theirs in storage sheds. We like to keep ours in a more controlled temperature. We do keep them in fireproof ammo cans or fire resistance, because nothing's 100% fireproof. We have a small camp stove, and we actually have several different size camp stoves that we can use the Sterno with, and you can see it's very easy to set up. These are extremely portable, and they're good for heating food. You can't cook a lot with a camp stove, but you can heat up food. If you've got beans, you've got canned beef stew, you've got canned pork, these are perfect. When we were in the military, we used these or something like them, and you can see the Sterno is very small, very portable. You can carry a lot of these around with you if you are trying to relocate or mobile, and if you are a shelter-in-place family like we are, in case of a world-changing event, a large power outage, you can keep lots of these. And we have dozens of cans, so when we do go camping, we have some that we can take with us. But if there's ever an emergency and we need to, we can always use this. And this is definitely one of our fun. We've even got some small Sterno candles down there that we can use. These are not just good for emergency situations. You can also use the candles or the Sternos for keeping food warm when you're having parties and things like that. We actually keep some warming racks here, so if we're doing parties and we need to use that, just like with our long-term storage rations, we try to cycle through things. Sterno's got basically a forever shelf life, but we do try to cycle through things so we don't have things that are super old just sitting down in our pantry. So these racks are good. We've got heating trays we put in them. If we want to keep corn or meat or whatever warm at a party, we can also use the sterno just to keep food warm. So we have a couple of fire pits on our property, and fire pits are very, very easy to make. You can buy a pre-made fire pit. You can build one yourself like we have. We actually have one in our inner garden backyard area that's close to our house. We have one over in one of our micro orchards, and those are easy. You throw some wood in those, you start burning, and you know, as long as you have a way to elevate your food or separate your food from the wood and the fire, those are good. And obviously one of the cons against that is if you're in an apartment, obviously you can't build a fire pit, so that's a big drawback. So that definitely goes into thinking of ways that you can use alternate cooking methods. We do have a couple of ways that we cook on ours. We have a camp stove, grill, and this is super basic. You lift it up, you drop the legs, you stick them in the ground, you make sure you have a fire up underneath it, you set your pots, your pans on top, and you heat it up and you go to town. Very simple. We also have a different one, and this one I actually like the most. This one is a set piece. We have a metal piece. I'll show you on our one of our fire pits. We sit this down, and this grill is just like this one, except for we got a fixed pole, and even the pole is portable. You can always pull it up. We don't pull ours up because, again, we're not planning to go too far. We set this down over our fire pit. We set whatever we're going to cook on this cooking surface. I guess I can show you. But a grill's a grill. We set whatever we want to cook on this cooking surface, and we go to town. And it's just that simple. And for us, wood is in easy demand. We're in a wooded property. We keep wood for our fireplace, so we don't have to worry about running out of wood. If we need more, we just go cut down a tree. We let it dry for a few weeks, and we got more wood. We've got almost an acre of wooded property. So we're good to go. But let me take you over to our fire pit, and I'll show you how this sets up. So, got a steel rod that's driven down into the ground here. When we set up our fire, which we obviously don't have a fire set up now, and then we take our grate, it just slides onto the rod. Let it go. Gravity and friction holds it in place. We can adjust this up or down depending on what we're cooking, just somewhat like our grill. And easy peasy. We have another alternate method of cooking, and again, for us, wood is an easy resource to get. Some places, if you're constantly buying wood, that could be something you want to think about when you're thinking about an alternate cooking method. But for us, this is a great alternative. Another thing you want to think about when you're looking at alternate cooking methods, you want to look at what you're going to cook in. Anyone who's watched our channel knows we're big proponents of cast iron cooking. We have multiple cast iron skillets, hot plates, sizzling plates, Dutch ovens, and those are great depending on what you're cooking. But you also want to have some things that are a little bit lighter weight, especially if you're using a camp stove. Depending on the camp stove you have, you may not be able to put a heavy cast iron Dutch oven on it, or a heavy cast iron skillet. So we also have some very simple polished aluminum pans that we can cook small meals in. We have another small portable mess kit, and again, these are things that we know work just because I used them in the military. When we knew we were going on long deployments to Grafenwehr, Germany, Hohenfels, Wildflicken, Iraq, Iran, these are things that we could easily pack up, especially in a squad. Everybody brings a little bit of something, and this makes it easy to cook on. Also, especially you're cooking over a stove, sometimes you don't want heavy things depending on how sturdy your cooking surface is. So also think about that when you're looking at alternate cooking methods. If you're cooking on a sterno stove indoors with proper ventilation, having something like this is great, because sometimes your regular cooking surfaces, those non-stick pans, you don't want to expose those to an open flame. So definitely think about what you're cooking on when you're looking at your alternate cooking method or your off-the-grid cooking method. So Wayne and Lynne, hopefully this captured the spirit of the original video that you put out, and hopefully other people think about doing their own inner thoughts, inner thinking about how they're going to prepare food in a off-the-grid situation, a power outage, a hurricane, whatever, life-changing event happens. It definitely is something we all need to think about, especially in the times that we're in now. So I'm going to tag a few channels in this. One is Don at Bucktails Outdoors. Don's an avid outdoorsman, and I'm sure he's got some creative off-the-grid ways of cooking food. Another channel is Dan at Home in the Sticks. I know he's creative, and he'll have some good ways to cook food. I'm also going to tag our friend Lead Farmer 73, a larger channel. I know he may be a little busier with everything he's got going on. Brother Lead, he's a beekeeper, gardener, works full-time. Yeah, he's got his hand in a little bit of everything. So Brother Lead, if you are too busy, I understand. But if you can participate in this, that'll be great too. So, and anybody else who wants to give a shot at showing how they're going to prepare food in an off-the-grid situation, feel free. I do ask that you tag Wayne and Lynne at Homestead Aus in your video so that they can look at it, and we'll probably create some prepper playlists. I know Wayne and Lynne already have one, and we'll try to do another one. So just put OTG Cooks or OTG Cooking, which stands for Off the Grid Cooks or Off the Grid Cooking, and we'll find it, we'll add it to the playlist, and hopefully other people who come to our channels can find it, and then they can get some good ideas from what we're doing. So as always, this is Rob the Sapper Gardener, representing Essayons Family Garden, saying God bless our great country America. God bless you wherever you reside around the world, your garden, your harvest, your kitchen, your meals, and especially your family to have health, success, and prosperity and safety, especially during these troubled times. And God bless Wayne and Lynne, their homestead, their family, to be safe as well. Take care. Sapper out.